Hey guys, I hope you're doing great, and welcome to my channel. My name is Doyuromi, and I'm a digital artist, and today's video is about how I made the background in the Uemiya Fanner. Let's get started. So I started with a gradient of dark blue at the bottom, and light blue on the upper part to serve as the background. Then drew the silhouette of the hill and the river with a darker shade of green and blue before adding the details to the water. Then I went ahead and added some shades to the edges of the river and the rest of the green bushes to highlight the places where the grass and bushes are under the light and the glowy flowers. Added some details with light blue to the river to indicate that there's motion and that the water is falling from another source. Then I painted over the dark colors with a shade of dark lime green to add bushes and scattered leaves. Then, with a deep dark blue, I painted the rock or boulder where the character is going to be seated in the illustration. I usually use the lasso tool to simply and quickly color the fine and hard cut edges when rendering, so I used here to create more sharp shading. Added dark leaves growing throughout the edge of the river and rendered the rock and made it a bit shiny and glowy. In this part, I was a bit frustrated on what brushes to use to paint a big bush behind the big rock. I used the flowers brush, and then I blended it. However, I didn't like the idea, so I retreated. Still not satisfied with the bush's look, I decided to move on and paint the small statue and did my best to paint the details of the hat and the cloak by adding some texture and lighter shades. After that, I went and added the trees. I used dark green and blue to paint the near view trees, and for the trees that are in the far view, I used a light shade of blue to indicate that they are located in a misty environment. Here I went back to bushes from earlier and decided to use normal leaves brush. I created the shape of the leaves with dark shade, then added the top details with a light shade of green. Then I set the layer to add mode and use blue to create highly saturated flowers to appear from a distance, then added some less saturated ones on the rest of the bushes. Last but not least, I added 3 lampposts in a distance to add to the atmosphere and give more life to the environment, and then I added a red torii gate that leads to the small shrine in the misty village. As a final touch, I added some sparkle to the river and the trees. And this is the final result. I know it's a challenge to start painting backgrounds for each and every one of your illustrations, but you need to start with simple things like flowers, sky, nature scenes, or the beach. I personally just opt for nature and flowers as a background whenever I find myself stuck. I think it's a very good practice as a start. Thank you guys for watching, and hopefully, this video was a little bit helpful. And always remember that talent doesn't grow overnight. It's only through practice and perseverance that you gain experience and get more inspiration. Don't worry if you go through times where you just want to leave the canvas empty. It's totally okay. It's actually good for artists to take some time to cool down and allow their creative juices to regenerate. That's all for this video. See you next time.